Welcome back, Nail Queens. I'm so excited for today's video. It is my very first Halloween spooky ookie mani of the season. So I went for Beetlejuice / Oogie Boogie vibes. So just keep watching because I have a new to me dip powder company called Indigo Rue. They're new to me. They've been around for a little bit, but they're new to me. This is my first time trying their products, reviewing them. So thank you, Indigo Rue, for sending all of these colors over and this incredible jar of clear. It is really clear, y'all. So they sent over a bunch of different colors. I'm getting a major Halloween vibes from all of the colors they sent over. I'm loving like oranges and greens and purples together. Like if that doesn't scream traditional Halloween, I don't know what does. And then they sent over a variety of glitters. So you have this one giving me mermaid vibes. Then you have a fall gold, and I love greens and purples together. It goes well with this glitter here, which is actually the glitter I ended up using in this mani. And I really like this like golden brown glitter. So I'm going to swatch everything and then get into the mani. So I don't usually show off on what's on my other hand, but I love these colors. They're from Soul Dip, so if you want to know more details, check out the mani over on my Instagram. I have it posted there, but I'm going to be dipping over top of this builder gel. It's from Kimberz Kreations. I can link it below if you want. So I'm going to use these three colors plus the clear, so technically 4 on today's manicure. So this is what they're going to look like together. If you saw the mani in the beginning of the video, then you already know what it's going to look like together, but I'm loving it. I'm also going to be using a Soul Dip peel base. I applied like one thin layer and then like a thickish stripe down the middle. And I'm going to be using Triple D dip liquids on top of the builder gel and the peel base. So I'm going to push back my cuticles. But I will say, while the peel base situation has been going great, I really love this peel base. I have noticed if I apply my base bond and then dip directly into the powder, it does come out kind of patchy. So I've been taking someone else's recommendation and I'm applying a layer of base bond to my nail and letting that completely dry. That way my first layer of dip, when I dip here, is going to not come out patchy. It's going to be full coverage. So I love Soul Dip's peel base so far. It's worked great, pops off really, really easily. It dries really fast. My only gripe would be that my base bond, and it could be a Triple D base bond issue, I'm not sure. But my only gripe would be that it dries patchy if you don't put base bond and let it dry first. So I poured over this chunky glitter and I'm picking off the chunkier pieces that are like kind of like hanging over on the edges. I highly recommend you do this if you're working with chunky glitters because some do kind of hang off and you don't want to file them off because you're going to tarnish the glitter. So I'm pouring it back in and letting that dry for a moment. So whether you're new or you struggle with chunky glitters, I highly recommend you check out Miranda's Nail Creations video on how she works with chunky glitters. It is the process that I'm using here. The first dip I poured over so that the smaller glitters were on my nail, and the second dip I pressed down my nail flat onto the glitter so that it picks up more of the chunky pieces. The smaller pieces on the bottom, the chunkier pieces on top. It creates good depth and dimension in my opinion. And as always, I'm picking off any pieces that are hanging over on my sidewalls into my cuticle area, just looking a little awkward, or if it's a little clustered in one area, then I'll pick off any extra pieces that are clustered and then clean my cuticle line. So now I am working against the clock. So before my base bond completely dries, I'm going to pull out my activator and activate this glitter. Yes, you heard me right. So the reason for this is because my base bond is still wet. Once I apply activator, it starts the chemical reaction between the base bond and the activator, and it starts the hardening or curing process. This is the optimal prime time to take a jewelry baggie and then press down the glitter so that it molds into the perfect shape that you want it, which for me is flat, molding to the shape of my nail. So if the base bond is still wet and you apply activator, wait about 5 or 10 seconds and then press it down, the glitter will mold into the shape that you want it to, which is flat against your nail, and nothing will stick up. Thank you, Miranda, for this like groundbreaking technique. I love it so much. And for those who might be wondering, yes, I will clear encapsulate later and I will show you how to do that later on. So now I'm going to get into dipping into my solids, but before I proceed, I'm actually going to pause for a quick Q&A. So if you don't already know, I've been taking Q&As on all of my videos. So if you have a question you want to ask, simply write Q&A and then ask your question, and I might feature it in my next Dip With Me video. So today's Q&A is from Kayla Loves Point Salad. Her question says, are you interested in doing any collabs with companies or starting your own brand in the future? What do you think is missing or could be stronger in the nail community? Similar to how you stated Triple D came in with quality liquids. Thanks. I'm really loving everyone's questions. You guys asked really good questions. So, am I interested in doing collabs with companies? I'm not opposed to it. It's not something I'm actively seeking out. It's not on my wish list or to-do list of things that I have planned. It's not something I'm working on with anyone right now. So I'm not opposed to it, but it's also not like a priority for me. Am I interested in starting my own brand in the future? It's interesting you should ask because I have looked into this, and my goodness, the amount of work that goes into it is one thing, but the amount of space that you need in your home, oh my goodness, I don't know how these small business owners do it. We don't have the space right now in our home to take on such a large project like that. The next question is, what do you think is missing or could be stronger in the nail community? And your example is similar to how Triple D came out with her dip liquids, and she was one of the first small indie brands to come out with her dip liquids. So it sounds like you're asking product-wise what I think is missing. So for dip powder companies, what I think could possibly be missing is nail art options. I know that a few brands are coming out with gel. So you got Rebel Nail, who just put their gel for their DIYers out on their website. Dipalicious has gel products. Triple D has gel polish products. And I believe a couple brands are doing the liner gel art, which I'm actually going to use in this video later on. So I do like that brands are hopping on the gel bandwagon. It's great for nail art and great for people who like that option. So I think nail art options are missing in the dip powder community specifically. It could be stamping, it could be decals, whatever the case may be. I feel like not enough dip powder companies offer these options for us to be expressive with our manicures beyond just dip powder. So thank you, Kayla, for asking that question. I really liked that question. I feel like it's very specific and definitely different than what I would have thought people would be asking. So thank you for asking that, and if you haven't asked a question yet, definitely feel free to ask one in the comments below, and I might feature it on my next Dip With Me video. So here I am in this process of my manicure. So I told you guys I was going to show you that I'm clear encapsulating this nail, right? The glitter. So what I do is I take rubbing alcohol and a paper towel and I dab that all over the glitter. The point of this is to absorb any remainder activator that's on the nail. This allows me to apply my base bond liquid on top of the nail without hardening my brush. So let the activator be absorbed by the rubbing alcohol, let the rubbing alcohol completely dry, and then dip and clear. In the meantime, while that is drying, I'm going to dust off my nails. I'm just showing you guys a different view of how I dust off my nails. I don't like dusting off underneath the lens of my camera, so I just move my hand to the side and then dust everything off over on my carpet, and then after I'm done with my nails, I vacuum it all up. So I'm going to clear encapsulate my glitter the way I always do. I'm just going to apply a thicker layer of base bond onto this nail and then dip into the clear dip powder. And I'm also going to clear encapsulate the rest of the nails. After you dip in the first time, you definitely want to check the edges, the sides, to make sure that everything was clear encapsulated. Sometimes we don't properly cover the sides and the corners near the cuticle area. And if you notice, it still looks kind of wet in certain areas. Dip back into the powder because that means the base bond has not fully absorbed powder. There's not enough powder to absorb. So I'm going to clear encapsulate the rest, and we are done with that. I think it's time to activate, file, shape, and buff. really been loving the pointy end of this glass cuticle pusher because I've never really realized how much dip powder gets in the cuticle lines and sidewalls until I started using this thing. So if you have a very nice, like narrow, thin cuticle pusher, a glass one like this, I highly recommend doing this. It is skinnier than the Bonafide glass cuticle pushers, so just a note, if you have the Bonafide one, this one is thinner and it makes it easier to get into those little cracks and crevices. So I do all that, dust it off, and then time to file, shape, and buff. So after that's done, I just spray my nails with disinfectant spray, which this is like rubbing alcohol based, and then dry everything off so that all the dust gets off the nail. The last thing you want to do is top coat with dust still on your nail. It just does not look good. So I am going to do nail art on my middle finger, so that one is not going to be top coated, but the rest of the nails will be top coated. Over the summer, I did a review on these nail art liner gel polishes. I love them. I think they're a great alternative to the Chiara Sky ones because those are kind of expensive. So this is like a $30 set in comparison to $100 plus. So I really love it. You see that thin brush? I'm going to use that thin brush to create stripes on my nail. I think I'm going to do like 4 or 5 of them and cure that in my nail lamp for 60 seconds and then top coat, and I will be done. I'm going to go ahead and cure this off camera. There's no point in me showing you guys the clip of it curing. You already saw that earlier. But I love this mani. Like, I want to know, does it give you Beetlejuice vibes or more like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas type of vibes? And I'm going to apply some cuticle oil. Maple Vanilla Donut from Candy Skincare is so freaking yummy. I love this scent. Any of her fall scents are really good in my opinion. If you guys have any recommendations or inspiration for Halloween or Falloween style manicures that you'd love for me to do my own take on, definitely shoot me a DM on Instagram, send me a photo. I would love to execute it and give it a go. So here's the manicure in natural daylight the very next day. I love this. And if you love it too, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you can be notified of all of the videos I have to come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.